Pokemon names are obviously very important to Pokemon. It would be kind of weird if Pikachu just sounded like a mouse. So how about let's randomize some names. I randomly generated a name and it came out to be Dragobite or Dracobite or whatever. Honestly, it's kind of the worst name I've ever heard for a Pokemon, but it could do. I made a Pokemon based on, of course, the two words you see, Draco and Bite. But I spiced it up with Cobalt, so I made it a battery Dragon-type Pokemon. I've already seen a military-based Dragon-type Pokemon, or not Dragon-type, but it looks like a dragon. So I did a few nods to a military theme, but it wasn't really a big part. Cobalt is used in batteries and electrodes, which is not just a Pokemon. So that's how I got the idea for a slightly military theme. Anyway, I really like the proportions, and here is Dracobite. I think it's a really cool and simple concept. It could be a pseudo-legendary, but I feel like it doesn't express that power well enough. This one was probably the most unique name. I got Drifteract. I interpreted Drifteract as Drift, Torrent, Raccoon, and Rack. So I made a little raccoon guy who lives in a clam or his own rack where he stores food and he sells it. He's a water type, hence the clam, so he can drift along the water. Torrent for the same reason. It comes together well. Introducing Drifteract. You could imagine him waddling up to you and just giving you his little pearl in his hand. Maybe I could evolve him into some sort of merchant, but I would have to lower his stats for that. Back to the random generator, and I got a sort of boring name, honestly. It was Fluffloom. This design went through a lot. I was originally going to make it some sort of fluffy fireworm based on knitting, which is connected to loom, but I changed the design and the concept a whole lot. I even changed the words. Originally, it was loom, fluff, and plume, but that changed pretty quick. I made it a bird. I used plumage, and I made it a toucan, sort of referencing the trunk of an elephant, which I think I'll use to make coffee. Now it's illuminate, fluff, and plumage. So it's a fire water type that makes coffee, and it's a bird elephant thing. I really like it though. It's a little hard to read, but the design's good nonetheless. Introducing Fluffloom. Honestly, that name's kind of a mouthful, and I don't really like it. Calling it fluffy is a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like under all that water there is fluffy feathers, so plumage and fluff do work. And illuminate with the fire type stuff. Anyway, that is all for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Bye, summon like.